Hey, not too much, man. It's been a good couple of days trying to recuperate from the OKIE Homesteading EXPO.
Oh my gosh, man. I mean, I was hurting from my nose to my toes when I left there.
I know that's what you said to Rachel. I'm give people just a little bit of time to see if anybody files in here.
Right. I got to figure out where it's at on the, let's see. Here we go. Trying to get over to the, see if I can go, if I can find us here.
Right.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know because I'm on ours, so I don't know how that'll, I don't know how that'll work. Hey, at followers. There we go.
There we go. So we'll be starting up here in just a minute and give everybody a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Let's Trade Paint says, hello, you beautiful people.
Hey, what's up, Trade Paint?
I'm glad you noticed, man. Thanks. Never hurts my feelings to hear that. Right, bro?
Right, there you go. Okay, here we go. Yep, we've got us live up here on the. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. I really like this drink. People may think I'm a little bit crazy. My taste buds are not like everybody else's.
Right.
This is LaCroix, which I used to hate. Sparkling water, coconut flavored with some lemon in it. And
really?
Yeah, I down this stuff like crazy. Well, that
and where am I at here? Trying to find the, let's see. All right. Hey, listen, I'm looking at us on both YouTube and Facebook.
Okay, cool. So Let's Trade Paint. It says this was in my hometown. You're talking about Pryor, Oklahoma.
I gotta get some volume. Block. Okay. Let's see. Nope. Hang on. I'm trying to make sure I get us. Make sure I get. There we go. I got it muted. Okay. That way I'm not getting feedback off of either one of the channels over here.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that
was in your hometown, huh? All right. Wow.
Yeah. So he was in Pryor, Oklahoma. Man, who knew so much was in Pryor, Oklahoma?
I know it, right? Rocklahoma and music festivals and the OKIE Homestead Expo. I know where my favorite's at, but I mean,
you're biased. What kind of shirts you wearing there? Oh, you got your 2024 OKIE Homestead Expo shirt on.
I do, and I've got a farm to table shirt over the back shoulder back here.
They sold out so quick.
Oh man, if I listen, I was trying to get Rachel and Brandy and them to sell me one on Thursday, so I knew I got one, but they wasn't playing that. I had to go in line like everybody else, but I knew it was going to go quick.
Right.
Just giving. We drove past the racetrack on our way from the campground to the expo, so that was totally cool.
We stayed out near Salina there at what's the name of that place?
Lakeshore RV Park.
Yeah, nice place.
Oh yeah, they were super nice. Debbie and the people there at at that RV park were super cool to us, and opened it up and off winter hours and met us down there to get us in our spot. Yeah, it was
right.
Totally cool. But,
so. As everybody knows, this is Keith with the Farm to Table Direct Show, and this guy right over here, that's my brother Ryan.
Yo, in the house. No, I ain't gonna do that to you.
You do that to me, man. I can't take it.
People who do that, they know who it is.
Yeah, I can't take it. But anyway, so tonight, really, what I want to get started with is just tell you, everybody that how straight up humbled we are. That what happened on this expo and Let's Trade Paint. We are in Poto, Oklahoma, and in Cedarville,
Arkansas.
Yeah, and we are both in our respective places right now. So I'm at home. He's at home.
Yep, I'm up on my mountain layer. That's it. Layer, how you pronounce that? Yeah.
Right. So, I was just saying that our chance to go to the expo happened last year, and
right.
And nobody knew who we were last year.
Oh no, it was, hey, what's up, Homestead in a Box?
Hey, Leah, good to see you out there. and Leah can attest to this, man. Last year, it was so cool because I found a lot of like-minded people at the expo. Okay.
Right.
This year, what I didn't really get until I got back there, it was almost like a family reunion this time around.
Oh, it was totally that. That's what I was telling Brandon Eddie when we were, on our episode. Hey, what's up, Craig? Good to see you, buddy. I was watching. We got a little video of you processing that quail. That was it was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was telling Brandon that same thing, that it was almost like, that's what it was. It was a reunion, because now instead of, having to try to introduce ourselves or go around, it was like, hey, because of all the people that were back. So, and then a lot of new faces too. So,
Yeah. Got to meet a whole lot of new people that it'll be kind of like homecoming again next year. And I've gone out and checked out some new people's channels that I hadn't heard of before. Spent a lot of time talking to them and getting to know them. And then once I went out to the channel and figured out, kind of what they were all about, it made a big difference. But super, super humbled, about, the expo embracing us out there and allowing us to, be a part of that community. He's asking, are you going to the 10 killer
well,
meeting?
listen, here's the deal. I mean, of course, you're going to be out of country, and I had every intention of going, and I ain't saying I won't pop in on Saturday or Sunday, but my son lives in California and is in a band, and they try, they go on tour from time to time, and their tour is coming to Fayetteville, which is the closest he's ever been to us, and I've never got to see him play live. So that's on that Friday, the 26th. So we're going to pile a bunch of us and go up there and hang with them, and they're spending the night here. That night, their band is, and on their way back to Dallas, or to Dallas they're actually coming from New York down through and stopping at Fayetteville and going to Dallas. But anyway, so that's where I'll be that Friday night. But I don't know, Trading Paint. We'll see if see if we can get up there, maybe Saturday afternoon or something for a while, because I'd really like to meet everybody up there. I talked to the the organizer of that for a little bit. And, it looks like it, and Dakota and them from old Pecan Homestead and all that, they're planning on going, and so it'd be really cool to go up there and hang out and have a good time, and also try to learn from some YouTubers.
Right, man, I would love to be there, but I'm bailing out on America.
Yep, he's leaving.
I'm leaving this country, and I won't be back for a month.
Yeah. While the rest of us are back here dealing with April, he's going to a tropical island in the South Pacific.
Yeah, man, I got to get out from under the spell of the what is it? The moon that's coming across our section.
Well, yeah, you get to miss the eclipse and everything, man. I mean,
dude, I didn't plan that. It just happened. It was it was pre-planned that we were going to be leaving. Then when I found out, I thought, man, how cool would it be? And then I started reading all of the stuff on YouTube about it, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe it was fate that I was going to be out of here. I don't know.
Oh man, that is too funny. Like I said, I'm hoping work just says, don't bother that day. Let's just stay home. But
didn't they already say something like that?
There was some talk about it, but I haven't heard any more. I keep meaning to ask, but I just keep forgetting. But
yeah,
I almost don't want to jinx it.
Right. So for those of you guys that are new to this channel, I thought this would be a good opportunity, and not just to mention the things that was going on at the expo. Hey, Troy Seddon. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining. And so the the thing that I thought that that would be appropriate for this time is to kind of tell the new people, first welcome them in and say we're so grateful, that you guys are here giving us a chance. And not only that, but that to just kind of tell you a little bit about what the Farm to Table Direct Show is. They're saying, well, look, guys, I've looked around through your videos. I ain't seeing your homestead channel.
Right. No, we haven't gone there yet.
Yeah. So just tell you a little bit about Ryan and me. Ryan, he's got a plot over in Cedarville, Arkansas, that they're just beginning on, and they're struggling to get to the point, and it's been a long journey for.
Man, I'm telling you, 4.5 years.
Yeah,
4.5 years. So.
Right, and as for me, I don't have a plot of land or any animals except for 2 spoiled, rotten dogs. But I've been preparing for a long time. And Josh is not with us tonight, but he's been, pretty big on
man, I think he was probably way ahead of the curve as far as the family goes on prepping and that type of thing.
So, and just a little bit about how we got started and why, why it was important for us to start a YouTube channel and a Facebook channel. And that is that, we seen what was going on in the world a long time ago, and we've been following this. And Ryan's a truck driver, and of course, he has a lot of windshield time, and we wind up talking on the phone sometimes hours a day. And,
even before we started this, I mean, it was just a routine habit.
Right. And so what happened is that, we would talk about the things we seen going on in the world. And then once I don't know, is that a C or is that a C? Anyway, from whichever way you guys are. Once that happened and everything, and we seen the things that was going on around there, we thought, we can't just sit around and say nothing, or at least not stand up and say something about what, was going on and how we felt about it. And we didn't want to hear our grandchildren ask us, why didn't you stand up and say something when you had time to do something about it? Well, we stayed on that kick for about a year and a half, bro, to where
at least
videos. You can go back and watch some of them. But after we visited the expo, and some other things that happened in our life, like we lost our mom last year.
Right.
And, it was kind of a wake up call. We have a close family, and everything that was going on with the world and paying attention to politics. I don't know if anybody out there relates to this, but it kind of, if you're spending so much time focusing on the problem, it just kind of ruins your day-to-day life if you're just problems,
Right. Yeah, so they can just get you where you don't sleep right, just eat you up. And so you just spend so much energy. And it's not that we don't watch it, but I mean, when you're focusing on it to a point that you're doing a show about it, and you're having a plan, and you're spending the whole week in headlines and what's going on, it just takes on a life of its own, starts consuming, everything. And I know for me, it had me pretty much in a perpetual bad mood. And so,
Right. If anybody out there kind of relates, feel free to chime in about, what you guys experienced. We all have normalization bias too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all of us want to go back to the pre C world that we used to live in to a certain degree. Now, since that time, I've said, you know what, this is maybe a pretty good thing that's happened. It's not good what happened, but the outcome, good things can come out of bad situations, right?
Right.
And so, once we went to the expo and we were, still struggling to identify exactly what our channel was about at that time. But, since that time, we've been able to, drill down into what exactly it was about. We knew our why. Why we started.
Yeah.
1976. What happened in 1976?
Was he born? No, I know that was the what is that? The centennial? Yeah, the bicentennial.
Right. Yeah, I remember bicentennial.
Yeah. Well, I was 4, so I just dated myself, but no. But we talked about it, and I mean, we've even went so far as to kind of start putting some stuff together and just never really put it out to everybody. But 9/11 kind of changed a lot of things for us. I was in the Army at the time, and definitely had a profound impact on my life. And I always said, go back to that time. Yeah, no kidding, right? It just had a profound effect on that, and deployments to Iraq, and anyway, post career, and just spending that time. But it was like just waking up one day to everything that it's like we seen what was happening, especially 2020 events. That how fragile, and like I said, I work in trucking, and how fragile the food supply system was, the supply chain in general. And just we're like, we couldn't look our kids and our grandkids in the face, knowing that we didn't open our mouth and at least talk about it. And that's what got us started with this the whole farm to table thing, was food security, food independence, and what that meant. But through that, we discovered, a group of people that was like-minded and embodied what all the things that we felt made America, and so, what it was that, like I said, that time back when we all grew up, and even beforehand, and it just, we found that embodiment there, and that community has welcomed us with open arms. And, so now it's near and dear to our heart that, this message of the community and this message of stronger together. And so, shifting over from the why, which we spent, a year, dealing with, year and a half, and to now the solution. And now, figuring out solutions and highlighting those who are living that lifestyle, those who are teaching that life, who are passing it on to the generation behind them, to these kids. And, I think to Cody Hanner, and, and that education book that we did that video on, that, that's a tool there for our generation, and the generation in between, to teach that next generation those things. And so that's really, the ability to highlight that community, that ability to talk about it, to emphasize it, and to, that message that we are stronger together, that we want to build community. We started last year with Keep It Local, which we still finish the shows with, and it's something that's always been there. But, cutting links in the supply chain, getting your food closer to home. That's something we're big about. And, anything that makes you not dependent upon, the retail box stores and the government, that's what we're behind.
Right. Now we're not under any illusion that we're going to shake off all of the big box stores or anything like that. We can't possibly do that. But, there are things that we can do, and we're here to highlight them, highlight the expertise that's out there that can help people. I don't know, in some ways I'm thinking like we try to be the expo year round, right? That we're highlighting people, educating, and Let's Trade Paint. Hey, Let's Trade Paint, you got a real name, or is that your real name?
He says what 10 Killer Tribe is all about. Yeah. I like that.
Right. Yeah. I wanted to be out there. And when I found out that it was while we were gone, it was kind of heartbreaking, because you guys were literally just in our back.
I had, as soon as I got the dates, I was like, I'm in like Flynn. And then, like I said, Sean, all right, Sean, nice to meet you, buddy. I'm like any parent, when you get a son or a child that you don't get to see that often because of distance. And, they call and say, hey, Dad, I need a place to crash for the night. Well, yeah, got to put priorities there. And that's right. Kind of,
exactly. So,
but hopefully, like I said, we're excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that, Sean. They're really amazing people. And what I've said on the channel, and what I've said, privately to my brother here, is that, this is the heart of America.
Right.
The people that was there is completely illustrative, easy for me to say.
Easy for you to say. Yeah.
Right. To, the way that this country was intended to be, the founding of this country. They're a slice of America. And I don't mean because they were from all over the place. I'm talking about the real America, not the America that some people think that it is. Amen. Thank you for that. And so anyway, what is the Farm to Table Direct Show, and why did you name it the Farm to Table Direct Show? Because that, even from the beginning, we knew that the solution was to cut links in the supply chain. So if you say the Farm to Table Direct, then that just kind of implicates that you're taking that is the solution to some of the things that's going on. around the world. And we don't have to mention it. A lot of people already know. And there's a lot of people out there, even people that I respect a great deal, that's, that talks about it a lot. The wine, the things, the problems going on in America. But the homesteading community, we're out there to facilitate that community. We are out there to lift them up and do the best that we can, get behind and push whatever kind of event that we can get in to push. And a lot of people say, oh, you started a YouTube channel because you wanted the numbers. Guys, we've been in this a year and a half, and our numbers,
in that, man.
All
right, hey, Sean, have a good night, buddy.
Okay, good night.
Sorry to see you go.
Thanks, Sean.
Somebody else take his place commenting. That's all.
Yeah. Right. We're getting lonely here. No, but and so for the new people out there, we just want to say that the Farm to Table Direct show is here to facilitate and to push as best we can the homesteading community.
Right. And like I said, I mean, yeah, we've been at this for a hot minute now, and I promise you, it's been slow. If you're, it's like I told, I said this the other day when I was talking with Brandon Eddie, and he asked how things were going, and I told him, I said, if I measured our success by by our those numbers and the matrix of the numbers, we would have quit. But there's been so many breakthroughs. We've had setbacks, but the homestead community is the one that's been the most gracious to us in that, and just really supporting us. And so in return, I mean, we got to support them, and that's what all along. As soon as we found this community, that was the way we were going with it.
Right. Yeah. And some people may say, well, you're in it to make the money. I heard somebody on somebody else's channel. I said, you got to be joking. The balance sheet's got a long ways to go. I'm just going to tell you that. Anybody who's seen our booth over there knows that, we didn't just buy a camera and a little microphone and go do stuff,
Well, we don't have a tripod and a cell phone, brother. No, it's which we use, by the way, as well, but as y'all seen, but no, it
hey, thanks, Troy. I appreciate that.
We'll do our best to keep that up.
Right.
We want to earn every step of the way.
Yeah. Really, I'm glad you said that, bro, because, I don't want YouTube success overnight. And it's not about, I don't count success by the number of people, but if our content ain't there, I don't expect anybody to tune in to see what we've got to say. It don't make any difference, but we want to be able to bring value to the community. Our hearts are in the right place here. And it ain't about making money. I guarantee you it's not that. We're more empty pockets around here, when it comes to
YouTube. Like I said in that episode, Meg's little house in the country. Appreciate that. Thank you for the compliment. And that's really our there it is. Brenda, the interviews were good, and honestly, that's thank you. But that's the whole thing, is bringing the expo, bringing that community to the world. That really sums it up. Thank you very much, because
that's what we were about.
And OKIE Homestead Expo, I mean, that they'll always be in our, I guess you might say, a special spot, because they gave us the chance. But any of the conferences and the expos, the things going on around the country and around the place, I mean, whether we're able to be there or not, we're behind it. I mean, and when I was talking with Joel Salatin, and was listening to him in his speeches and stuff in there, that was one of the things he brought up, was all these, these communities popping up all over the U.S., all over, that everywhere he's going, he's seeing this, and there's more and more of these things happening, and that's good news for everybody.
Right. People are waking up. Right.
So I mean, it's, and that's what it's about. But anyway, we were talking. Oh, we were talking. Somebody asked me. They were looking at everything we had set up there. The truss, everything we had set up at the expo, and was asking me, the kind of the who's behind you. Where's this coming from? And I had to tell you, no, man, this is all self-funded. This is not,
Yeah.
the, to this point, it had been all self-funded, and he was just, fascinated, just wow, the investment that was made, to make that happen.
Right. And it seems to me that that's not going to stop anytime soon. We got a few things on our list in order to make it better. But, is there some shows, that you guys out there in the audience knows about that y'all would like to see us show up at? We want to formulate and create some relationships with some other places where we can get behind it and push and support any kind of expo that's out there within a reasonable range. Right now, we can't reach out too far, but anything within the surrounding states of Oklahoma would be, that's possibly a doable thing for us. Especially if the number of people are there, and not only that, but we are supporting some of the local projects that are going on.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
something else I wanted to talk about, is did anybody? I want to hear from the audience about some of the experiences that they had at the expo.
Right.
Meeting people, making new friendships. Collaborations, and I don't mean just YouTube collaborations, but I'm talking about real world, tangible business relationships that helped you out. If there's anybody out there that experienced that, I would sure like to know. I know in a limited fashion, it happened to me and Ryan while we were there. People reaching out to us with some potential things that's related to some things that we do behind the scenes that we're not going to mention. It's all
too early.
It's too early to talk about.
Too early for that, and but I should say I know for that probably. I mean, for a lot of people, a lot of our people that follow us, listen to us, and we're friends with, and as well as myself. I mean, getting even for just a few minutes to meet Joel Salatin. Getting to hear him present the little pieces of it. I got been getting an end and stuff. I didn't get to be there for all of it, but getting to hear what little bit I did, and then just getting to talk with him for a minute and get to meet him, was totally cool. And I look forward to maybe seeing him down the road at some other events, maybe.
Yeah, that would be great. E&D. Hey, I remember. Hey, thanks for bringing out Tucker. There's
that was awesome.
But E&D Livestock Farm, you guys go out and check them out.
Tucker's a future star. That's a star right there. He's a star in the making.
Tucker's going to be a star in the making for sure. If you guys didn't catch that little interview, it was cute. And what basically it was is that Mike, I believe, might be the one that's behind that from E&D Livestock Farm. Where are you guys out of again, Mike? I know that you weren't that local. I think you had driven a ways to get there, I believe.
Right.
Am I wrong about that?
Let's see. Yeah, okay. But
so anyway, what had happened was his little boy was there. Central Iowa.
I know it was a pretty good drive. Wow.
So anyway, we have stronger hashtag stronger together this year. And that's the message that we are pushing. And the young man, as soon as I gave him the sticker, he just took it and he strapped it right across his chest on his clothes there. And I said, you know what? Yeah, that's the one. I said, I think I want to have you to come on the show, because we're pushing the hashtag stronger together this year. And so he came on and man, he said in the beginning of that, he said, I don't know what to say. And so I said, don't worry about it. I'll ask you some questions. But man, once he opened up, man, he just started rolling. And I thought, oh yeah, he's going to do good.
That was one time getting to be behind the camera was pretty cool, So.
Yeah. So I appreciate that, Mike, and appreciate you showing up here tonight to check out what we got going on. And we want to say thank you. And that was part of the reason that we're doing this live tonight. And that is to, say thank you to some people, that especially
the list is long this year.
Right. We got a long list of people that we talked to, and we've got it down in the description. I don't know that we'll take the time to mention everybody, but a whole bunch of you guys. Yeah, you're welcome, Mike. You're welcome. And
Yeah, I mean, if we miss, if we miss somebody or in that, please don't take it as anything other than just there's just so many, and
right.
there's no, I mean, if you spoke with us, if we talked to you, if we interviewed you, if we spoke with that, thank you. I mean, that's just straight up across the board. But we are going to mention a few just because, I'm going to do the best we can. But, again, everybody that came up and talked or watched or, came and bought a cup of coffee.
Yeah, you guys, and that was another thing is that, you guys really came out a great deal and supported our coffee. The Farm to Table Direct Coffee Company just started this year. And,
made him famous.
Well, I don't know about that, but
we'll do what we can to help you, Tucker.
Right. We recognize talent when we see it. Right. So anyway, yeah, just a little bit about, the coffee and I was really happy to hear, from headquarters out there that a lot of people were talking about it.
That was a very pleasant surprise when Rachel, shared that the inside there that they were, very, very, very happy about the coffee. And that's, it's a compliment to the roaster and and to the idea behind Farm to Table Direct Coffee, being able to provide a tangible, contribution back to the community.
Right. And that's what it was all about, and one of the things about our coffee is that besides the fact that I've gotten into the art of roasting, we couldn't think of anything else that exemplified community more than, either sitting down at the table with a friend, drinking a cup of coffee, right, and that sort of thing. We grew up, our dad was at the coffee shop in the morning.
Yeah,
ears open and listening to everything that was going on, but made a lot of friends and
right,
and coffee just exemplifies that to us, community and coffee. So
right.
that's part of the reason we do it. Other than I just geek out a little bit on the roasting process.
Well, right. I'm glad you do, because it's I've learned more about coffee in the last several months than I ever thought I would know.
Oh, right. Yeah. So anyway, enough about that. But anyway, that's the Farm to Table Direct Coffee. If anybody wants to check it out, it's the farmtotabledirectcoffee.com. And anyway, there was several people out there we talked to. Leah, you're in the house, and are you still there, Leah? But anyway, we got to talk to Leah. We got to talk to an awful lot of the other YouTubers that have a channel out there, and they're so gracious. They're not snobs. They talk to you. And one of the things that I want to say to anybody who's aspiring, to start a channel, make friends first.
Oh man.
Make friends with people, get out there and earn their support. And that goes for us too. Right. We're not looking for anything to be handed to us on a silver platter, anyway, that's kind of what I had on my mind.
Right.
Very excited. And I got Holly. I got a black lab and a.
Well, that's one of the things with it is, it's, man, I mean, of course, Hidden Heights, Kevin and Rachel, and of course Dutch and Brandy at Keeping It Dutch, and for just, again, opening up to us. And trust wasn't given, it was earned. But they've been gracious from day one.
Yeah.
But they are, because of the work they put in, very protective of the expo, and rightfully so. And but anyway, and then of course, last year, tons of interviewees and, people that we made friends with. But then this year, Walker Farm fam being gracious to us, of course, Brandon, Eddie, and Stephanie Eddie from the Eddie Family Farms, and the Life on the Eddie Family Farm, being super gracious. So many others that, we interviewed or came by. And of course, Steinmetz family with uh, the goat father. you know, uh, actually spent a lot of time in technical conversation with him about Facebook and that sort of thing. And, he was just, one, curious about our operation, but then two, sharing information with us. And of course, surviving in Alabama, can't forget Chris. He was, not only was he wanting coffee, and he was cool to come over and hang out, but he offered to help in any way, and was just all around the hand. I think everybody at the expo. Uh, and of course, I mean, several people that we interviewed. Of course, our friends Justin Scott with Sweet Stingers, Honey and Apiary, Bob and Casey with Olive Branch Aquaponics.
Oh, don't forget Patrick Carhart.
Yeah, don't forget Patrick Carhart. Patrick's my guy now, man. I mean, Patrick's my guy. He'd be banging around up in New York, man. He's banging around, and but
We be banging around down in Oklahoma now.
for those who've been to the Northeast, been to New Jersey and New York and stuff, you've heard that before, but you don't hear it down here much. But anyway, no, him and and of course Stuart and Ashley with Restoration Farms. Of course, Dakota and Shayla with Old Pecan. I mean, just, those are people that we've become good friends with. And man, so many more. Got to see him Tower. That was, in person, meet him in person. That was cool.
That was somebody that was, in our audience, that
Right.
used to chime in quite a bit, and actually get to, see him in person and talk to him was great. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, let me see. What was that leather company that I told you about earlier?
You would ask me that.
I know, man. I'm having a blank moment. I'll find it here in just a second.
I know what you were about to say.
Well, anyway, hey, I'm leaving you alone here, man.
I'll leave you alone.
But no, I'll find it here in about a second because I've got them on tape. But no, they met them there, and they were already subscribers, followers, that kind of thing. Hang on, I'm gonna get that. Norton's Leather out of Happy, Texas.
That's what it was, right?
So and they were nice couple up there doing leather work and stuff. Hope plenty of people bought from them. But I shot some video on my cell phone, not as a live stream, it's just hard video, and I'm going to get that out later. But to everybody, so there'll be some people I talked to in that wasn't on the live streams. But Norton, anyway, when I mentioned it was, we follow, so it was nice to meet people that follow and stuff. That was totally cool. Man, I know there's so many that of course, said hi to a lot of people as walked by, and
I would like to do a little shout out to Pearl Grace and Company.
Oh man, the music was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. They're really talented. They've got nice music, and they were our booth mates and our booth neighbors, and they were just so gracious and so sweet, and I really appreciated them. You guys go check them out. Their music's amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There were just so many out there that we got to visit with. Centennial. What's that?
Centennial Roots. They're out of Missouri. They make sourdough. They do a lot of they're bringing back a lot of old stuff from quilting, and they actually had the loom repaired and put back together, and was the first they stuff off of that was not even I guess stuff hadn't been touched in years. They found some diaries back in the 1800s. You can go check that live out. kind of get a little bit of that history, because that's what they're doing. They're bringing back the homestead or their farm, whatever you want to call it, has been in their family since like the 1860s and or something. And they were just totally nice people. But the fact that they're bringing back the history, just to me adds that all the more. They're bringing back them old ways and preserving it, in their family line, and preserving that heritage of their family. Because the diaries, I think they said, from when they the original, came down from Michigan to Missouri, and everything they went through and all that stuff. So I mean, a lot of journaling. And apparently, and I mean, I haven't went out and looked at it, but apparently that's they've now started doing a journaling. Now.
They continued the journaling. I didn't.
Yeah, they picked it up, and now at these generations later, and
Right.
doing the journaling, and I thought that was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, that was real cool. And yeah, I mean, for those of you guys who are in here and may happen to hear this, that's what Ryan and I is looking for. We're looking for, we're looking for the trades, and I want to touch on that just a little bit about trades. But we're looking for the trades, but we're also looking for a story. We're looking for people who have extremely interesting stories.
Oh yeah,
those have a really good chance of getting on there with it, getting on with us anyway. And we want to highlight, the human story behind these people who have these unique.
Well, right. That's yeah. I mean, because I mean, I know I guess probably at both of our hearts. I mean, we're storytellers, and and like a good story. So, and I know, those, storytelling's what I mean. Besides, being my dad and working together as when I was a kid growing up and all that stuff, but the stories that he shared from his life growing up, and just those and different times in his life, those stories is what allowed me to get to know him, in a different kind of way. Right. And when he had Alzheimer's towards the end, and those stories that he had told and I remembered is what allowed me to know where he was at in his mind through that time, so I could deal with it a lot easier and know where he was at.
And I'll tell you a little personal story. I don't even know if I've talked to you much about it, bro, but that's funny because I speak to you more than anybody else practically.
Right.
So, but my dad got Alzheimer's, and if anybody knows anything about Alzheimer's, it's a very sad. It's hard on the person. It's hard on the family, and to think that my dad was lost in his mind, wasn't easy on us. No. And so when I would get together, I remembered the stories he used to tell us. And so I would go back and I would repeat stories back to him. Oh, Dad, do you remember one? And he would just then it would just kind of take him back a little bit and kind of give him, that feeling that, that he's not so lost, because it gave him a little bit of something to anchor to, or at least in my mind, it made me feel better when I talked to Dad, about the stories he used to tell us.
Oh yeah. But it didn't show up on the main feed, but over on Facebook, Centennial said, "Thanks for the shout out. We're excited to share our story, help revive old-fashioned skills and knowledge from the homestead era, and so excited to hear the other stories you share throughout the year."
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, and we appreciate you guys, and we want to keep in touch and keep track with how you're progressing out there. Yeah, it's an amazing story, guys.
Right.
So. Yeah. So.
Anyway, yeah, so yeah, we had a little personal time there where we kind of got off, kind of letting y'all know a little bit about.
I'm a sappy old guy,
Well, I mean, it happens when we get that age, but no, seriously, I mean, that's what storytelling means to us. And
hey, speak for yourself, old man.
Watch that old business. But anyway, no, but listen, this year has been, I mean, already it's end of March, and it's been just a wild, chaotic, 3 months already, personally and show wise. But we're looking forward to the rest of 2024 from the for the coffee and for the show, and future trying to find some events that we can go to, to be out there, but also uh, figuring out content format. Of course, we're going to try to pick back up the on the road series once Keith gets back into country. And
yeah, we've already got we've already got a lot of footage. We're going to
Right.
be doing one on restoration farms and
Right.
foraging with restoration farms. I got to go out there and I got to be educated on all the things that was on
Oh
there
man,
that was edible. And
Stuart is and Ashley are so smart. Oh, man.
they are so smart. Yeah. And like I say, we're bringing the experts to you. The thing that amazed me, not just their plethora of knowledge, but
Right.
the fact that all of my life I have been walking. There is food sitting right on the ground, and I've
Right.
seen some of that food all of my life and had no idea you could eat it.
Mhm.
Right. So
Yeah,
anyway,
it was so to say, yeah, that's that whole thing. And kind of a shout out to one of the people I talked to in my random strolls through the vendor barn. Was I think it was Ferguson Farm or Ferguson. I think that's who it was. Man, I don't know if I'm wrong. I'm sorry, but they had dandelion jelly. And I mean, dandelions, they grow all over the place, this part of the country. Never had it, never tried it, never even knew you could do anything with it. And so I took a little sample of it, and man, was it good. It was sweet. And I went back at the end of the expo to get a jar to bring home, and they had already sold out. And so I put my name on a list to get some when they get them. They're supposed to call me. But and I was speaking of Patrick Card, I was telling Patrick about the dandelion jelly, and he said he knew some Italians back in the day that made dandelion wine. So, wow. Yeah. So apparently, even the little things that grow in your yard that maybe you think are pretty, or maybe they annoy you, but they can be food, or they can be a source of
yeah,
nutrients.
that's the surprising part. We're not going to tell you everything that's in it. We're still working on it. I'll tell you that we just finished the mushroom scene, and I thought it turned out well. And
Yeah.
and guys, I had no idea. It's one of those things that you have this stigma in your head. Mushroom has a stigma with it. It's like, don't touch the mushrooms, you'll die, right?
Right.
And that's partially true. But there's one rule that if you will follow this one rule, you'll never touch the mushrooms that'll kill you.
Right. No kidding.
But I'm going to tell you what it is. You have to tune in when it comes out. To find out.
Facebook, Heather Shout, Shaut, Shout, I'm assuming, said, "Hey, I plucked one out of the ground when I got back to the rental house, and the dandelion wasn't as tasty."
Yeah, I think there's probably a process to that. But did it, I'm going to ask you, bro, does it give you like a unique kind of flavor?
It
Something
was, I mean, well, it had a honey flavor. What they done with it kind of had a hint of honey in it,
Yeah.
and I don't know if they put that there, if that's natural, I don't know, but it wasn't. Honey can be a bold. Kind of a bold or kind of depending on how it's made. But this was just a tint, just a little tint of it that made it sweet. And yeah, it probably was probably a lot better after they got through with it than what it started out if I just picked it off the ground. Yeah.
Right. But it was
But,
something you hadn't tasted before, right?
right. And, speaking of that, I mean, we talked about, what, Stuart and them, I know coming up at the Ozark Homesteading Expo or conference, what do you want to call it? That's happening in Marshall, Missouri. I think it's in September. His name is anyway. Stuart and Ashley know him, my friend. My son-in-law's got a signed book from the guy. I've done a class with him. It's Buck something. I can't remember. Man, the name is escaping me right now. But he does the foraging in the Ozarks. He's got a book out. He has a company. That's what they do, is do those guided things. And I got the luxury of getting to go on one with him. But he's going to be there at that. And so I was pretty excited to see that. I thought, hey man, I'll have to let Stuart and Ashley know that he's going to be pretty close there. I mean, just in Missouri right there, which is where he's from. But he's going to be out at a expo like event. So we'll get some more information out about that. All of these upcoming events, we'll get the information out as we get it and get it put in the right format so we can share all the information about what's going on. I know, taking a little side note here, I know that Doug and Stacy are having their spring thing up in Visalia, I think is how they pronounce that. But anyway, Missouri. Tickets are on sale for that. That's mid-May.
Yes.
Modern Homesteading Conference in June up in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
I'd love to go to that.
Yeah, I'd love to go to that. They got the list of speakers is long and a lot of good people. And but anyway, enough of that. We'll get back to that. I will be getting a lot of that information out in the coming days and weeks ahead.
Here's a little heads up, and I don't know how many people out there has heard about it, but there's another one that's supposed to be tentatively happening. We don't know yet, but
yeah,
in McAlester, Oklahoma.
Yeah, down around the McAlester area. That's where he's trying to. The gentleman that's trying to put it together. And it's going to be. In fact, y'all can go out and look him up on Facebook. It's Oklahoma. Matter of fact, I'll go look it up right now. It's Oklahoma.
Homesteading.
No, Oklahoma Homesteader Rendezvous.
That's it. Homestead.
It's in the organization stage. I know somebody had shared, I'd got it on my feed, and I followed him and reached out to him and, kind of gave some informational survey and feedback, and then told him, that we were focused on the expo right now, in which his job didn't let him come to the expo this year. He wasn't able to make it, but anyway, he's working on putting that together. That'll be late September as well, sometime in September. I think end of September is when he was shooting for on that. So it'll be another one right here in the eastern Oklahoma area, and I'm hopeful that it's we can get a spring and fall thing,
Right.
And so as I get more, and I'll share that out when I get that link. I'll share that out on our Farm to Table Direct Show Facebook page, and get that out, and of course I'll share it on future information episodes and stuff like that as well. But yeah, there is some stuff in the works for that. They're all over the country, and Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia. There was one in Arkansas, in Rising, Arkansas. It was their second or third. I think second year. It was the same Saturday as the expo in Oklahoma. The OKIE Expo. So it's like can't be in two places at one time, unfortunately. But but yeah, that's one happening there. So I mean, they're popping up more and more. I see, around the country, and that's a good thing. So.
Yeah, that is a real good thing, and we want to be there to push it. We want to be there to show everybody what's going on and what's possible, and keep this momentum going, because just like Bro said, point at it up there, we're stronger together, folks. And I think you guys see that. And regardless of where some people in the world may want to take us,
right,
we're going to be stubborn.
Oh, yeah.
So
what's the word? Peaceful resistance.
Right. Well, actively living a life without depending upon.
Right. And, well, that's it. Don't be dependent upon them for for everything in the that's how we I said it earlier. That's how we break the chains.
Every little thing you do, everything that you learn and you implement back at your home that you learn at these expos is cutting another link out of the chain.
Oh yeah. And that's what it is. I mean, the closer you can get it, your food, and there was so much of that I, in listening to some of the presenters that I was able to catch, or some of the ones I talked to in person, that was such a big emphasis at the expo was, getting to know the local people around you, getting to know your, whoever it is that does whatever, and if you don't do it, know somebody who does, and find a skill that you have that's, barterable, or tradable skill, or something you grow, or something you do. But anyway,
So, you know, you just mentioned what I said I was going to circle back to real quick. I don't want to make this extremely
No,
long. We're already nearly going on an hour here, but
right. And
uh,
thanks for sticking with us, guys. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
thank you for that. But the trades,
Oh yeah.
it's hard to find people in trades. Trades are so expensive. You get an electrician, you get a plumber, you know, people are in the heating and air. You know, all of that stuff is really expensive. And it's hard to find people sometimes that do these because it's not something that a lot of people do. And I heard Micro talking about this, and I think everybody knows who Micro is. I don't have to say or tell you that, but you know, I heard Mike Rowe talking about the trades and how that we grew up in a generation that kind of frowned on trades. It was more like go to college, get an education to get a good job, you know.
Right.
And I'm not down in education. I'm a little down on the education system as it stands, but and I because I think you put every tool in your toolbox that you can possibly put up there because it becomes useful at a certain point in your life. But trades are coming back. We should be pushing those
Right.
trades. And so, whatever the skill set that you have, you know, or even if you don't have a skill set, you know, look out, find what you're interested in and get involved with that because, you know, each one of us with a trade, um, it makes us stronger. It makes the fabric of America stronger.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, that was I mean, I remember, and I mean, they're still there, but I still remember, growing up in school, the the vocational technical schools that you could start in high school or after, and things like that. That wasn't, it was like, okay, you know, they understood back then that not everybody was cut out for college, and I remember being asked in like eighth grade, uh, we were going into ninth grade and it was like, planning your classes, and they were asking, who here plans on or thinks they're going to go to college. And I'm thinking in eighth grade, I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going next hour, much less next, in 4 years from now. And,
Let
uh,
alone at the time, I didn't care much anyway.
right, exactly. But still, yet, I mean, it was one of those things. I just, I understood at that age, and I remember mom talking about, I wanted to go to college. And as I got closer to graduation, if I wanted to go to school, I'm like, Mom, I'm not going to waste your money or anybody else's. Um, because I knew that about myself at that age. I didn't have the discipline to go to college and sit there in classes and get grades. And I knew that about myself. So I went in the military, uh, and learned a skill set that's still making me money today.
Yeah.
So I mean, but having like you said, growing up, learning those things was super important. But and I think the more we push it, we shouldn't shame people. I mean, like I said, I mean, there's people out there with degrees that have no purpose whatsoever. They can't use them. They're not making any money. And that guy that went to electrician school or went to plumbing school is out there fixing stuff at their house and is making way more money than they are. So I mean, it's not that it's easy work. If it was easy, everybody would do it, but it's worthwhile because there is a demand. And we did that one episode where I talked about lost trades, working on transformers and that kind of thing. And it's what happens when we've exported so much of this stuff out of the country. I'm getting on my box. We exported so much of this out of the country that what happens when we need it and we can't get it because we've sent it overseas and there's nobody left
Yeah.
who knows how to do it. So anyway, so I mean, it's just kind of an important thing that we think, and seeing those things being shown at the expo, seeing people, teaching their kids, Dakota and them out there doing the welding demonstration, the man from Promethean Forge doing the forging demonstration, showing the different demonstration things that were going on around the expo that, was teaching people maybe who've never touched something like that, that you can do it. But I'm going to interrupt real fast. Heather said, met y'all at OKIE and was chatting about green coffee bean extract.
I remember you.
Yes.
What was your name?
I
What was
gotta
your
start
name
my
again?
research.
What was her
There's
name?
articles out there. I was looking at some of them today. There's a lot of articles out there on the green coffee bean extract. So a lot of reading to do ahead of you if you want it. So
Right. Yeah. Hey, I didn't forget that. I'm just telling you, I'm looking for that. I've got a couple other projects that's related to coffee that's going on. It was kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but there's some collaboration efforts going on with us and a couple of the people that was there, and 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 that was one of them that I remembered. As I said, I never heard about it. You know, I'm roasting coffee, but I've never heard of green bean.
There's debates about it back and forth. Like I said, bro, I was looking today when we were talking about what we were talking about with, with beans and whatnot, and I kind of got into search engines, and yeah, there was a bunch of stuff out there about that, a bunch of articles and that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, at least there's a lot of stuff out there I can learn from.
Right.
Sometimes some of this stuff is pretty obscure.
Man.
When I try to find it.
Right, like yeah,
So,
but
I'm just going to say sweet stingers and honey coffee.
Hey, there you go, sweet stinger.
Things we're researching right now.
Sweet stinger, that's it. And that's that's an interesting thing. I mean, the more you get into those flavors, but yeah, look forward to that. Guys, keep your eyes out on that. Bro, I don't know, man. I mean, you're getting ready to pop out of here in a few days, and
I'm going to be gone overseas in the Philippines. My wife, she's from there, and so we're going to go back home and see her family, and we'll be gone for about a month. It's one of those things that's halfway around the world. Last thing I want to do is go over there. Takes me a week to adjust, and then it's time to come home already. So yeah, we have to stay a month just to get to enjoy it any at all. But
there's no
go ahead.
There's no lack of stuff happening over here on this side of the water. I'm going to be busy, of course, working on stuff for the show. May get some things out, during the next few weeks, and then I ain't going to say shameless because I'm not ashamed of it. But anyway, little plug about what I've got going on coming up here in just a few weeks, April 19th and 20th, here down the road from where I live, Rudy, Arkansas. But anyway, there's a thing we're doing. It's called River Valley Men's Campfire, and we're doing a spring camp. I've got 4 great speakers, great testimonies, great speakers coming in, and then myself. But 4 great speakers, and then you got to suffer me. But no, I joke around. But anyway, it's a men's camp. It's there's a lot of things that men of faith struggle with, and men in general. But to be able to fellowship together as men of faith, and
where can they find out about that, bro?
They can go onto Facebook to River Valley Men's Campfire. It's a Facebook page. It'll have a little black circle with a flame, and it'll have a picture of a campfire stuff in the background on the main picture. But anyway, that's going to be April 19th and 20th. Tickets are available through there on a link or through Eventbrite. And it's a Friday afternoon at 2:00 to a Saturday afternoon at 2:00. And if you need a bunk, there's free place to stay if you need a bunk. 12 or 17 and under are free. So men, got to pay, but it includes 3 meals, place to sleep if you need it. And it's going to be 2 Friday night, of course, time around a campfire, and then, breakfast, and 3 awesome anointed men of God speaking on Saturday, as well as some praise and worship music throughout that from one of our local church praise teams. But anyway, the price right now through the end of the month, and I may extend it on, is $50. You can't go anywhere, have 3 meals and a place to sleep for $50. So I mean, it's a steal of a deal with that. But River Valley Men's Campfire, like I said, it's on Facebook. If you're in the region, if you're in the area, and I will say this: if by chance any of y'all listening, or anybody that's a youth leader or a men's minister or that type of thing, or just a pastor somewhere, a church preacher, and you're bringing a group of kids, they can contact me on the page. And that email, which is 3nailsmedia@proton.me. Or if you're bringing a group of 5 or more guys, same thing, reach out. I've got promo codes that'll take that ticket down even lower. So
Cool.
Anyway, I know it was kind of an unplanned thing there, bro, but I just, it's a chance to get it out to some people that may or may not be interested. And if you're in the area, like I said, I mean, reach out. It's going to be an awesome 24 hours. And so Anyway.
We are an hour and 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know, and I imagine everybody's getting a little tired. But anyway, and I need to get to bed sometime tonight. But anyway, no, guys, it was real. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Those that have stayed and those that have commented, appreciate it. It makes it all the more fun to do this. So,
before we get out of here, I want to do a special shout out to the team that was handling the coffee and the production for us.
Oh man.
You know, I can't go out of here without mentioning.
No,
you know,
we have to.
right.
Yeah. Have a great evening, Heather. The coffee, that crew, Dakota. The general behind the control station, behind the all the sound and audio and everything was a trooper through all the technical difficulties and everything. He was right there in it. Melly and Josh and Daniel and Jerica over on the coffee side. Man, they were working and they were troopers on that. And,
thank you guys for being patient with them. They were killing it back there. That coffee machine that had given me fits that I was so particular has to heat up to 200 degrees, guys, before it'll extract properly. 195 to 205 is the zone. And some of those coffee makers out there don't get up there to get the proper extraction.
Anyway,
we got that. But anyway, that thing wasn't enough. And so they were fighting just to keep those
carafes full. Keep those spots full. And listen, I mean, that's an awesome problem for us to have. But like I said, super shout out to them, and shout out to our families back home that supported us being there and and going and all that. But of course, again, to everybody with the OKIE Homestead Expo and the volunteers and the vendors, the presenters, everybody that made and all the ones who just came and attended. Way more people than last year, and I'm anxious to hear the numbers, but keep your eyes peeled for the dates for the next one and get your plans in place to go. I know we are, that's inked in. We just don't know what date yet. But
it's going to be the same month, right?
It's going to be in March. They did say they were staying in March. So that much I do know. I expect it'll be at the end of spring break, probably.
Right in there,
so anyway, but all right, guys, bro, I'm man, I don't know. We could go all night, but I ain't gonna. I'd get killed.
So just a little preparation for everybody that's out there. At the end of every show, if you've never seen our shows, me and my brother has a little thing that we do right at the end of the show, and so this is what you'll hear at the end of the show, brother. Until next time. Prepare for the unexpected
and keep it local.
Good night, guys. We appreciate y'all.
Good night. See y'all later.